Good morning everyone. I've got the thumbs up from Jez. Hope you're all okay and raring to go with a new cutter. Before I go any further, I know a few of you know what happened last week, so I'm just keeping you up to date. Those who don't know why we cancelled last week, Jez had a head-to-head collision, a crash, which was a bit traumatic at the time. Luckily, nothing major. He's just got a very, very bruised side and leg and everything else, but he's okay. So we're counting our blessings.
Still in one piece.
Still in one piece. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very colourful one piece, but yeah, he's in one piece. Just a boom with the car just came across and into him. But it shakes you up, doesn't it? And getting the call as well to say he was, anyway, we won't go in that. But I'm just keeping you all up to date because a lot of you have been asking about him. So yeah, that's where we're up to. And he's getting there slowly. Right, so I'm going to begin. We've had a lot of requests about plaques and do I remove them off the board, and I will finish the dem with our new cutter or embosser. But I just want to run over this for now. So I'll just put your specs there, Jess. Right, so that's it. Got the light in my eyes there. So what I've done, right, so first of all, I'm just going to talk to you about this. So these are the plaques that I made the other week, do you remember? That one I've already removed off the board. So what you do is you emboss your plaque. You can pop it in the oven for 10 minutes and then it dries much quicker. Or you can just leave it. This has been on here for a couple of weeks now, isn't it? Since I've done this. And you can see just by going round with my knife. You watch it, you know, I need a bigger knife. Anyway, let me see if this one.
Thanks, Wayne, doing okay.
Oh, yeah, very scary. But we're so lucky, you know, it could be and sitting in A&E singing happy birthday to him because it was his birthday the next day. And of course we were there till about 2 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, he didn't really like me singing happy birthday in the middle.
It was a packed A&E.
But it was. And I'm not the best singer. Right, so you can see now I've gone round there, I've loosened that. So we have now got a sugar plaque. So that can go on top of your cake. Now I'm not icing cakes every week. So what I've done, I've just, excuse the rustle on here. I guess it's a bit of sellotape for some reason. I've iced the other side. Right, okay. So what I've done, I've iced this board. So this would be your cake, yeah? This is just the top of your cake. Right, so you've got the choice then. You can either put your plaque on the top like that. And that just, so your cake has to be perfectly flat, obviously. Otherwise you sort of, you know, it's not going to sit nicely. But if you have got rigid or you just don't want it to sit like that, you can put a little bit of lace or a bit of holly or something around it. But if you don't want to do that, you can sink it. So you get the board that you've used and central it. Now if you're going to put happy Christmas or whatever on there, or you can have it up or down to one side, so you could have a little spray of holly or something around the corner. So you position it where you want, and then you would go round the top of your cake like so. Now I'm presuming, normally I would stand up and look down on this. It's probably totally off centre. Yeah, there's either somebody at the door or the post has just come. Oh. Okay, so I've gone round that. Yeah, and I'm presuming you've got buttercream underneath. If it's a sponge cake, might not be, might be marzipan or whatever. But you take that out, okay, save that. And then you pop your thing in and then work your way around like so, and bring that down to your plaque. So underneath that, if you've got buttercream, I mean that there isn't a board, so it's fine to sort of go on top of the buttercream, marzipan and like that. So if you had left it on the board, you might want to put a barrier of greaseproof or something between the layers there. But because this is just sugar paste, they can go on there quite nicely. And then you could just pop that round. Just keep smoothing that. I don't want to spend the whole day just smoothing that round, but just bring that round. So you're sinking your plaque into the top of your cake. Okay. I've got 2 plaques here now. No Christmas cake to put them on. I might make Jazz a cake. Bit late now, isn't it? Well, no, it isn't. I could do one. I've got a great recipe, fruitcake recipe, and as soon as it's baked, cool, wrap it and put it in the oven. Not put it in the oven, put it in the freezer. You can even put it in the freezer slightly warm, and then when you defrost it, it's you know, people said, oh, it's lovely and moist. Have you has it been made for ages? Right, okay, so I'm just going around that just to smooth that down a bit. Okay, so you can see that you need to put even a twisty rope, anything like that around there, and then you've got your salt plaque. So you do it either way. Right, so that's that bit. I'm going to get this out now because I don't want to just waste. So this is just sugar paste, this plaque, as I say, but if you want it to dry more quickly, or then you can always put a pinch of Tylo into your sugar paste on the floor there. Right, so that's that. I'm just going to put those to one side. Can I put those over there? There you go. Right, there we are. Hey, I'm being tidy. I know, unheard of. Now the other thing I'm going to do, before I go on to the new cutter.
Thanks, Pixie.
That was a phone call and then we can never get again. Right, so the Grinch. Yeah, so a bit of freehand. I've got glitter on everything here. So all I've done, cut out some black sugar paste for a circle, sprinkled on some of the little squares, and just rolled over so they stick. And then the Grinch I've made out of the gnome from last year, you know, the gong gnome. I call it the garden gnome. But yeah, the gong. So now I did this 2 weeks ago, so I've got to remember what to do. I was going to do this last week. So just with some sugar paste. Okay. Never seen bruising like it though, have we, Jeff? He's got a very one leg is about twice the size of the other.
Very swollen.
Yeah. Seat belts, airbags, the lot. Cause bruising. Right, so we've got our green, and then I'm just going to cut out this part. I'll put this on a little board so you can see what I'm doing. So, okay, so I'm just going to cut off about there, about halfway, red, and then I'm cutting away, so if I lift that to you, I'm cutting away, I'm leaving that top one on, I'm cutting away down here, so just cut off those pointy bits and go around with this one. So that's why I put it just on a circle, because cookie, because I've lost the shape to have it, the Grinch. So I'm cutting that one and widening it out. Can you see? Just widen that out a little bit. And then like so. Okay. And then for the hat, got some red sugar paste, reddish. I've used all my red, so I've had to make a little bit of that in there. So I'm in the middle of 300 cookies at the moment. I'll gather that up again. It's been around quite a week, hasn't it, Jeff?
A bit hectic, yeah.
Just what you need. You know, you said when you're told to put some peas on your leg or on your knee, and all you've got is a tin of peas. It doesn't work. So, right, so I'm just cutting out the top of the hat, like so. I'm going to cut down to about there. And then fold that over. I'll lift that up so you can see better. So you can just put a little bit of water on there with your brush. Slight overlap, I'm going to put some white on that now. Okay. So you can see you've got the pointy ready for the little pointy bit on there, and then some white paste. So you know, this is still all sugar paste, nothing added to it, no taro or gum trag or anything. It's just straightforward sugar paste. This is really firm, the sugar paste. It's a silver spoon. Right, so then I'm going to bring those round a little bit into a better shape. And so I needed like a scallopy thing. So I'm using, you could use the one that comes with the alpaca or the rainbow. So I'm going to do this. You see, this is what you should be doing, is looking at your cutters and just thinking, oh yeah, I just need a such and such, and then you find that you have got one all the time. Right, so I'm just going to cut along that side and then turn it over and cut it along there. So you've got that sort of shape. Out of it. And then again, a little water over there. Just push that in, because I don't want it cut, I want it to look a sort of roundedness rather than straight. Okay, and then I'm going to paint on his face. So I've gone down a little bit farther, but anyway. So fine brush and some black. I've just sent for that. I wonder what this is like. Oh! Oh God. Okay, well, I'm just going to cut it there. Jazz has gone, oh God. Right. Obviously the gremlins are still with us. That made everybody drink. Thank you. Do you know what? That happened to me once with dust colour, and I knocked it over the over the floor. And can you bring me a big roll, please?
Yeah.
And this is what you do when you've knocked your black cloth over. Do you know what? I'll put that on top. There we go. You wouldn't know, would you? Thanks. That was a trek, so I've used all my treks, so I'll leave it like that and I'll just cover it up.
You can't
Hey,
do much about it anyway.
I can cope with anything at the moment. Right. I'll use the other one. Oh no, it's only half a pot now, that isn't it? Yeah, I'll use that one. Golden better. I was going to cut then. I thought, no, we'll keep going. So, I might have to, can you see this though, Jez? Am I out of shot now?
No, you see, hang on, and what I'll do,
Join me over here.
I'll just do a bit of...
Okay, so I'm just going to start off. So this is obviously a fine brush. So I've got that far on there, okay? So that's going to be, let me bring that down. So I looking at pictures, I thought, oh, it's a black nose. Is it a black nose or a red nose? But anyway, I'm doing black. You can colour yours in whatever colour you want. Okay, and then so just starting off with that curve like that to begin with, and then this part goes down like so. Yeah, I don't know if I finished what I was saying before, but I did that once with dust colour all over the carpet. Oh God, and it never did come out, you know. Many years ago. Do you remember that, Jess?
vaguely.
I don't remember anything. Right, and so then we're going to just colour and put that in. Like so. Okay, cocktail stick for a few little. Right, and then yellow around there. So we've got that little face in there. I said to Neil, oh, I'd love a little face just to emboss that in. That would be great. But well, we should do one with just all facial expressions, shouldn't we? And then go for it. Right, I need a yellow.
Pat's asking, can you paint with the gel colours?
Yes, you can, Pat, and just add a little alcohol or lemon extract to it just to break it down a bit. That one that's just gone flying is the cake paint. I usually use the Sugar Flare, the Midnight Black, which is, it used to be like a gel colour, you know, really thick, but it's a lot runnier now. I don't know if that's just a new formula or what. Cake paint is what is now all over my table. I am dropping stuff, I have to say, but I'm due to have another injection like that, another injection soon, so my hands will be much better then. They do go after a while. Right, so you can always let the black dry first before you put this bit in. So I'm just doing the yellow. I think you see that. That's going to be really off-putting having all this black. But I'm bringing another black in a minute, so on the new one. But this was just something to show you that you know, different, that you could use these things for. Just tap that in. You might need to touch up the black. I'm not going to get it out again. But you can see on there, you know, you've got the idea. I'm just, oh, we need a little bit of white for his, excuse me, stretching across. So ball, and then there, a little bit of moisture, and then that can go on the top. So then you can just pop that onto your cookie. Yeah, bring those out a little bit. Those little side pieces. Right, so we've got the two here. So as I say, I put them on a black background for the night time, but you can do any colour if you like. Right, I'll put those over there, and then I'll just move on to our new. I wonder if I can get some of this off. You see, Trex would bring that off in a moment, but I haven't got any. So let's go and get some. But that, yeah, Trex over that, and it will come off lovely.
The black spot.
Yes. Right, so the new cutter, let's just show you. I'm going to leave that on there because it really is catching the eye there. We don't need a background for that. Right, so the new cutter is this one, which I've already embossed into a plaque, ready to paint. Now I've got bits everywhere. So it's the nativity. You know, we were saying the other week we'd like a nativity. Now, patchwork cutters are old firm. We have got a nativity, and that's in like an oval shape, and it's like a serious one. So this one, I thought it would be nice to have like a cutie one, so like for school nativities and stuff like that. So it's that one. So you got Mary, Joseph, and the baby. Now the baby, I'm just squashing that face down a little bit because we decided not to put a face in it because it looks like a monkey because it's so small. So the sort of prototype, if you like, that I've embossed on there has got a little face on. I'm going to paint over that in a minute. But yeah, it only a mother would love it. Just didn't do it for me. So yeah, we've given that one a miss. So I'm just going to put a background colour in first. I'm just going to get a bit of yellow in that as well. So a little bit like the snowman one, you know, but instead of doing dry dusting, I'm going to add the alcohol to this. And you're just going to work it and work it and work it. So I'm going to start off, I'm just going to put my line in. So do we need a lot of sky? And I'm just going to go, now I'm keeping the flow of the brush strokes. I'm not all over the place, not at the moment anyway. So I'm just clearing the figures. Don't worry if you go over a little bit, it'll all match in. But I'm just doing it like a wash. And I do try and keep it simple because if you're arty, and I know a lot of you are on here, you'll put all the extra bits and the tiddly bits in. I'm just keeping it really basic for me, really. Right, so get your background on there. And then for the larger areas, I'm just going to use my little piece of sponge, and I'm going to go across. So be brave. I'm going to do a shout out last week to my mate Valerie Vaughan, who we had a long chat the other week, and it was lovely. There's some lovely people. Well, we're all lovely on here, aren't we? My old friend Andrew, she's back. Lost touch. You do lose touch with people, don't you? And of course, we've had a lot of messages with what's happened. Mainly, do you want a lift? I don't drive, and people are very surprised that I don't drive. I've never, ever, ever even put a key in. In fact, I don't even think it is a key anymore, is it? But yeah, never had the urge to drive. I've always been chauffeured everywhere. Aren't I lucky? But yeah, because the cars are right off. We've had lots of offers of help. Right, so I'm keeping it patchy, just probably. And while it's still damp, you can just, if you want to put some penny sprinkles on there. I've done a deeper one, which I'll show you in a minute, the finished thing. Okay, so there's a few little stars in the sky. So while that paint's damp, they should stick to it better than this brush. Yeah, better than when it's dry. I'm just going to do it really. You choose your colours. So obviously it's not the white sands of the Bahamas, is it? Yeah, so this is more like, you know, the school plays. If you've got kids as well, you know, grandkids, and you want something a bit fun, then I think this does fine. Now you can, if you wanted to, start painting Bethlehem, or you can just paint on a few. Trees, which I'm going to do in a minute. So you can then go over with your sponge. Just blend that in. Just I'll try and get it patchy. I like it patchy. Just gives it a little bit more. I mean, if you want to get into painting, then I would recommend you go to Tracy Mancakes. Tracy, when I broke my arm a few years ago, and she came on here and she started doing my lives for me, and she does some fabulous teaching. You know, she's a lovely teacher as well. You pick it up really, really easily. Cocoa butter painting, well, any painting she does.
Jeanette's asking, how do you make the wash alcohol and dusting colours?
Yeah, I use dusting colours. You can use your paste colours. Who's it, Jeanette? Yeah, Jeanette. Yeah. You can use your paste colours, Jeanette, but I either use Rejuvenator, isopropyl alcohol, so that will dry very quickly. Excuse me. So they dry very quickly, and likewise with your dust colour, I've used dust colour there. Keep it really, really touch of colour and more of the, this is lemon extract, pure lemon extract. So it has a nice lemony smell to it. But you can see on there now, it doesn't matter about me going over the edge there a little bit. That's fine. So I'm just going to get some green on a rubbish brush. One that doesn't matter if you squidge it about. So I'm going to put some. It's supposed to be nighttime, so this maybe use a navy blue or whatever you want to do. It looks a bit daytime there, doesn't it? But anyway, the stars are out. And I'm going to use some of this dark green here. just a touch, and some of the things. So that's what you do in answer to your question. You mix the two together like that. Now I want to take some of that off the brush. And you know all your brushes that are splayed on the ends and they're no good, just keep them for this. Just dabble, dab, 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 dab. Depend. Take it down onto the, very basic, isn't it? Oh, what are those tall? Oh, I was going to say start doing tall, slim trees, but you know what? Just get it on. Like that. So you're getting a sort of distance on there. And you just go over with, as it dries out, it will become stronger, the colour, and then you can just go over that. Just tap, tap, tap. As I say, unless you're really into your painting and you want to take your time. I'm a done, next sort of person. That one's done. Right, so we've got a little bit of greenery going on there, okay? And so then I'm going to start painting in the colours on here. So I'll bring these over. And you choose what colours you want to paint. Now I've mixed, for the skin tone, I've mixed a little bit of, I'll find it now. I usually keep out all the colours that I've used. Oh, that's it. Right, okay. So literally paint round. And I usually have this tip. This I like working on plaques to put on the cakes. You can work directly on your cake, of course, but if you've got mistakes, then it's with a plaque. I don't know, it's just easier to get off. I'm just doing the faces on here. Put whatever skin tone you want to do on there. But I want to show you the eyes, what I do with the eyes. Okay, so then I'll put the purple. This is another one that I tend to knock over, these little files. You need a little thing to slot them into. I have got one somewhere that I've used in the past. So I've got a bit of purple going on there. So I'll do this. So hold your brush upright. And the nice thing about it, you've got a really clear outline. So as long as your brush just smooths into that outline. Oh, it's got a little ear there. Okay, and then maybe the brown for his beard. So I'm not going to sit and just paint the whole thing, although if you're into painting, you'd probably enjoy that. It's one of those that you put the radio on and I usually sit and do this and listen to the footy, don't I, Jess?
Yeah. Got the match tomorrow.
Oh, I know, we're going to the Liverpool match tomorrow. So excited. I usually go to the pub to watch it, but got tickets. They better win. I'm most upset if they don't. Okay, so we've got his face on there. So it's just painting it in really. Now with Jesus, as I say, we won't have a face on there. So I'm just painting his hair. And then I'll do a thin wash while that face is drying. I'll do a thin wash. For the manger, just get your brush in. Okay. I'll go back over the edges of that in a moment. I'm just getting a thin wash on that. Right. Let that dry off as it's drying. I will do an orange. Paint that up. So I'm thinking next week now, over the next few weeks, I'm going to do a little bit of royal icing, I'm going to do a model, I don't know what order, but I'll start doing sort of other techniques using the existing cutters that we have. Right, so I've got that bit there. I'm painting by numbers really, isn't it? Then you can have a yellow. Oh, maybe not a yellow, I'll do a green. Again, a thin wash. And then as it dries off, it gets deeper, and so then you can do a little bit of shading. Okay, so you can see the build-up of the colours. And I think I'll put Mary in blue. Nice big spaces to paint, not too much fiddly details. Right. I'm having a clattering day, aren't I? It was gel. Oh, it's got that everywhere again. Okay. Do you know when you just go with the flow? I'm going with the flow. Get more picture roll out. Right, so that's the lovely. Good job I've got that stuff to clean my hands with. It's brilliant. I think car mechanics use it. It's a powder. You would go like that. Jazz, have you got that? Just pass me it near the. in the kitchen near the sink, and it's the powder I use to clean my hands, just so I can show them what I use. So what I'm using now, if you've got a dabber, you can use that in the eyes, yeah? If you haven't, then get a fine paintbrush so the handle is narrower, and then you're just going to touch that in there, and then touch that in the eye, like so, rather than paint it. I did the same with the snowman as well. I think I painted it last week. Yeah, yeah. It's so good, that stuff. Oh, missed it again. I haven't even put my other glasses on. That's it, the works, hand stuff. And it's absolutely brilliant for getting rid of colour off my hands. Right, tap that in there. And pick that up. Tap that in there. Spread it out a bit and fill that.
The glasses are there.
I know, just seeing them now. Right, so we've got the eyes on, okay, without too much. The thing with the brush, you can touch the wrong part, can't you? Right, just done exactly the same with that next lot of black, yeah. All here. There are times when you just go with the flow, don't you? And you go, okay, oh, I'll look at that. Oh, she's got scouse brows. Mary's got scouse brows. Need to keep it on, you know. She can have black hair. This is so watery, I don't even have to add anything to it. Right, and then if you want to do shading, you can either paint it or let's just turn this around. See, you can't do that as neatly if it was directly on a cake, you know, turning it round. And if you rest in your arm, you do tend to squash the cake a bit then. So let's see. They can have, I'll do the purple. A little bit of pink for the mouth. So I'm going to show you the one I've finished now. Once I've done a bit of shading, so just painting the mouth. Nice little smile. Just going to get a tiny touch of that darker, you know, the orange I've used there. I'm just outlining the nose. Hardly anything, but just makes it stand out a bit. Like that, so you can see the face building up. So you can either go back and do shading, like, let's find a smaller brush. So the alcohol or the lemon extract is starting to evaporate, which makes your colours stronger. So using the same colour I used to do the water wash. So I'm just more or less outlining. So there'll be shadow there at the top. So you see, just putting a little bit of shading on there. Just go down, there'll be a little bit in the arm, and then like that. So you see the bit of shading on there. Then on the crib, down the edge and then start to bring that over, dry your brush off, just blend it in. And a little at the base. Sort of a semi-dry brush. Need a little bit of colour on the back of the baby's neck. Swaddling clothes I'll leave white. So it might be a good idea just to remove that bit of blue off there. Tiny bit of brown just to outline it. And then the yellow for the hay. Make sure you get into the embossed lines. You don't want the colour just sitting on top. So we're coming along there now. And then where's that blue? There you go. So it's going. Maybe let this dry off a little bit more before you do shading. I'm just going arms either side on there and a darker underneath. Okay. And then when it's dried, you can either cut out a tiny, I'll do it in a minute. I will do it. I'll just do that. I mean, this one could be a different colour. And then they can have matching headbands. Just do an orange one there. Okay. Alright, so you can play around with it as much as you like, but it does need that little bit of white in the eye. So I'm going to find a tiny amount of clean surface. Move those out of the way. Right. I'll find a little bit here. So the thing I'm going to do now is using a little tiny bit of flour paste. Hang on. That's sugar paste by the smell of it. The sugar paste just smells so much sweeter. Got a little star cutter. And then, oh yeah, much firmer. So I'm just going to roll out a small piece of flour paste. Roll it really thin. Okay, so cut out your star. Just use that cocktail stick to pull away. So this one was in the Snowflakes and Stars patchwork cutter set. So if you've got that one, you can use that. Now, bring that back in, put a little bit of water up there. Yeah, the sky is a little bit daytime-ish, just needs to be darker. Like on there. And then using a number 1. Oh, no, that was is that the 1 or the 2? Oh, there it is. The 2, I think, is better. Yeah, 2. So a 2 piping nozzle, and then roll your paste thinner and cut out 1, 2. You can paint them on and you can dab the colour on if you wanted to, but I find doing this better. Right. Put it to the side, bring the plaque back. So, damp brush. I'm just going to, again, it might be easier to let the eye dry. Oh. It's just sunk. Right, okay, never mind. Yeah, let the eye dry before you put that in. So I've just got a damp brush just to pick those up. And his eye has just sunk in there. See if I can get some of that black off. I don't want to have to roll another one out, so you can see on there. But anyway, so that you've got your little tiny dots on there. I'll just press them down. Right. Now, what you would do then is get your white luster dust and a little stubbly brush that I keep just for that. In fact, I think that's ivory, but never mind. And then go over the star and take the colour down, the shine down to little baby Jesus. Now, I've got one here, stronger colours. And I've cut out rolled out some black, rolled out some brown paste, cut it into strips, marked it with my Dresden tool to get like a wood effect. And so that's the one I've done in much stronger colours. And I've added the little stable on there. Still a few little bit of shading on there that I'll go back and do. But you can see this shows up better the light from the star that's coming down. A little bit on there. Okay, so that's just building up your browns and what have you. Okay, so that gives you some idea. So that you see the side by side, so one's paler. I just need to build up those colours a bit.
Oh.
So just build them up to what the depth of colour that you want. Okay, so next week I might do a model, or I might do a bit of royal icing, or I might even do some a garland of buttercream flowers. I'll have a think. What I won't be doing is anything in black, because I haven't got any left. It's all over the table. Anyway, well, thank you for joining me today. I think my head's still all over the place. And I'll give you an update on how Jerry is progressing next week. And it's all right. I won't ask him to roll his trousers up. You're not ready for that yet. Okay, but thank you for joining me today. Seriously, and we have a lot to be grateful for. We certainly do. So take care. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Friday. Okay, bye.
Thanks everyone. Take care.